Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce SSA President Lisa Bagan-Lurie, who will call the meeting to order shortly.
Thanks very much, Doug. I will now officially call the 2021 Saskatchewan Soccer Association Annual General Meeting to order at 10:30 a.m. I'll invite Executive Director Doug Peterson to walk us through the logistics for the meeting today.
Thank you, Stephen. If we can go to the logistics slides, please. So again, for everybody on the line, it's really helpful if you can mute yourself to help us with our sound quality. Obviously, rename yourself as directed. Use the comment box if you need to make a comment, and Stephen will be monitoring that and direct that to Lisa and the other chairs as we need. And of course, we're going to use raise the hand to move in second for motions to vote and to be recognized by the chair. Can go to the next slide, please, Stephen. So again, we invite everyone to refer to the working papers, which were circulated to you earlier. We've identified ourselves properly for the minutes purposes. Again, for discussion, raise your hand, please, and mute and remute when done. To make a motion and second, raise your hand, please. To vote, all in favor, raise your hand and keep your hand up until the chair confirms the vote. And the same for opposed. And if there's a question of the votes, Lisa may ask for those opposed to raise their hand again, and also, if necessary, verbally confirm so that we can take the time to count the votes. I believe that's the logistics. Lisa, I'll turn it back to you.
Great, thank you, Doug. So on behalf of the board, I'd like to acknowledge our organization is gathering across treaties 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10 territories and the homeland of the Métis. Saskatchewan Soccer Association recognizes that treaty relationships have allowed us the opportunity to share the sport of soccer across this great land. We respect the honor and the treaties that were made on all territories, and we are committed to move forward in partnership with Indigenous nations in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. This year has been a difficult year for all of us, as we've had to adjust to the changes and restrictions, and that has drastically affected how we delivered our soccer programming. I commend all of our members, our member organizations who were able to offer programming in this past year safely and following the provincial guidelines. The challenges have been large, and we appreciate the effort everyone has made to keep your communities engaged in soccer programming. We enter the spring 2021 season filled with hope and optimism with the rollout of vaccines and the decline of cases here in Saskatchewan. We are hopeful that this trend continues and we're able to get back to as normal play as possible conditions. With that, I'd like to acknowledge all those we have lost this virus in this past year, as well as to honor those that we have lost who have made contributions to soccer, who have left us in 2020 with a moment of silence. Thank you. Stephen, will you please put up the file to confirm roll call? So we have a total of 17 regular members that have met the requirements in the bylaws and attendance and are eligible for voting. We have a total of 84 eligible votes.
78.
Sorry, 78?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. The total required to approve a motion by majority is 40. And the total required to approve a bylaw amendment is 52. Thank you. Quorum has been achieved and we're ready to proceed. I'd like to acknowledge those in attendance. We have Life members Leslie Blythe and Jeanette Cook. We also have a special guest, Warren Proctor from SAS Sport. We have Virtus Group, Tennille Wild. And we also have our new board member coming on, Nicole Trihorn. She's coming in a temporary capacity and will be running in the 2022 AGM. We also have board members. Sorry, is Jeff Hum online?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, hey. Sorry, I didn't see you before. So we have Jeff Hum,
Okay.
Leonard Luco, Dave Misko, Kelly Rawlings, Kyle Moore, Andrew Kitchen, Ratan Bahia, Stephen Patton, and Janelle Layton. Also committee members, Christy Baxter and Jeanette Cook.
So for this next part, we don't need to read everybody's names out, but what I'll do is just scroll down and everybody whose name is in green, that means they're in here. So at the end, once I'm done scrolling down, if anyone just wants to indicate if there is anybody that I have missed, that would be very much appreciated. Thanks. So like I said, if you know of anybody that I've missed, please feel free to unmute yourself and just let me know quickly.
Yes, if we've missed anybody, we just like to be able to acknowledge you in our minutes.
It's Mike Gramiak here, Eastside Soccer member of SYS or Saskatoon Soccer. I'm not sure I was on there. Oh, I'm listed as TD Soccer for some reason.
Sorry, I'll fix that.
Thanks for catching that. Anybody else we've missed? All right, hearing none. We'll now move on to the approval of the 2020 minutes. I'll ask for a motion to approve. Sorry, Dina Clark is also in attendance, but her audio isn't working. Thank you for that. So we'll also acknowledge Dina Clark in the minutes. Sorry, just to go back to the approval of the 2020 minutes, I'll ask for a motion to approve the 2020 minutes of the 2020 annual general meeting as presented. Can I get a motion for that, please, by raising your hand? Sorry, we've got Morris, TV Soccer. Seconded by Brad Stryker. Swift Current. Any discussion on that? Kat, do you have your hand up? Okay. Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, please raise your hands. Okay. The way to, just to make sure everybody on the same page, the way to show you're in favor of the motion, please use the raise hand function just so that we're not missing anybody. I have a couple more that haven't raised their hand, and that's fine. If you're opposed, I will go to that next. I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. All right. Looks like we have a fair number. Any opposed?
Lisa, Doug here.
Yep.
Just if we could just make sure we recognize that we should ask people to lower hands first before we ask for opposed.
Perfect. Thank you, Doug.
That'll be cleaner. Thank you.
Also, just another quick item, only the ABD should be raising and lowering their hands. So if you're not a voting delegate, please, you can disregard voting.
Okay, do we have one opposed? Jason Jones? No? All right, motion is carried. Thank you. Now moving on to the approval of the agenda. Again, I'll ask for a mover. Mike Armstrong. Seconded by Kat Huxley. Battleford. Call for a vote. All in favor? Right, I'll ask you to lower your hands. Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Now have a video played from President Dr. Nick Bontis from Greetings of Canada Soccer.
Good morning. My name is Nick Bontis, and I would like to bring greetings on behalf of the Board of Directors of Canada Soccer and all the staff from coast to coast to coast. First off, I would like to acknowledge and thank Doug Peterson, who invited me to say a few brief words to you today during your AGM. Of course, I would love to be there in person with all of you, but unfortunately, this past year has been quite a shock to the system. But I do see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I want to encourage all of you to keep working hard and to keep driving our sport forward as we yearn to return to some sense of normalcy. I too miss playing my old-timers games and watching my boys compete on the field and the smell of wet grass. Soccer is so important to all of us. We must bring it back even stronger. I would like to congratulate the clubs from Saskatchewan that worked hard to meet the standards for Canada Soccer's club licensing program in 2021. These include Eastside Youth Soccer, FC Regina, Hollandia Soccer Club, Queen City United, Astra Academy, Aurora Soccer, Lakewood Soccer, and Saskatoon United. Congratulations to you all. In other recent news, I want to acknowledge the CPL announcement in awarding exclusive rights to Living Sky Sports and Entertainment, Inc., with hopes for a new soccer-specific stadium in your community. Our national teams will be very busy in 2021. Bev Priestman and our women will be playing at the Olympics in Tokyo this summer and are hoping to bring back a third medal in a row. John Herdman and our men are in the middle of a World Cup qualification for Qatar 2022. One of the biggest projects that I will be leading during my presidency this year is the formulation of our new strategic plan. This will be the third cycle that I've spearheaded, and I want you all to know that I've always had a copy of Saskatchewan's strategic plan close by, as I've identified it as one of the best practices in Canada. So congratulations to all of you who work hard on the development of the province's strategic plan. And I hope you will assist us in a couple of months when we send out a survey to hear feedback from your clubs, players, parents, and volunteers moving forward. With regards to the volunteers, I want to thank you again. I'm a volunteer too. We do this because we love it. As we continue to deal with the implications of the pandemic, we all need to inspire each other so that we can lift up grassroots soccer, which is so important. Since March of last year, the focus of the Canadian government has been on reducing the spread of COVID. These efforts have come at a significant cost, borne disproportionately by our children who have experienced disruptions in the areas of cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development. While the loss of life and the negative impact on the economy is what most people are focusing on, I believe one of the biggest challenges to our society has been the mental resiliency of our youth. I truly believe that building up our soccer enterprise will be one of the most fundamental activities that will accelerate the recovery for our children and our communities. So in closing, as the weather warms up, let's go out there and kick a ball, safely of course, and bring back the joy that we all know soccer brings to all of us. Thank you.
Well, it's never a dull moment when President Bontis brings greetings. He's a very energized guy, so nice to see that from him. We'll move on to the report of the board. The annual report has been circulated, but to summarize some highlights, and as mentioned earlier, 2020 was a year like no other. It came with a fair share of challenges. However, because of the perseverance and dedication of our membership, board, and staff, there is also much to be celebrated. When play was suspended on March 13th, 2020, no one knew what the year ahead would look like. We soon learned that we'd need to be ready for anything, and that with collaboration and the ability to continuously adapt would be the key moving forward. Our utmost gratitude goes out to all those who helped make play not only possible, but safe. A huge thank you goes out to all member organizations that work through all the uncertainty with patience and open-mindedness, who developed thorough return to soccer plans and offer participants the chance to experience soccer. 2020 has taught us how to cope with uncertainty, figuring out how to adapt while maintaining our core services. We are grateful for the ongoing support we receive from SAS Lotteries, our long-term sponsors SaskTel, Direct West, and Soccer Locker. Government subsidies were also a major blessing. However, since we were not able to confirm eligibility until late in the fall, we ended up with an unexpected surplus. As a result of our strong financial position, the knowledge gained in 2020, we enter 2021 confident with our ability to encourage participation through investments in our membership. On February 16th, 2021, we announced a comprehensive return to play stimulus strategy to which we allotted close to $700,000 in direct benefits to our member organizations with the goal of supporting them to be strong position to return to pitch and offer quality programming in 2021. I'll now invite the Chair of Audit and Finance, Leonard Luco, to deal with the 2020 audited financial statements. Leonard?
Thanks, Lisa. I'm going to call for a motion and then I'll ask for comments and introductions after that. So can I have a motion to approve the audit for the fiscal year 2020 as presented? Amanda from SYSI and seconded by Jason Roy from Weyburn. Thank you. So as I mentioned, I'll make a few comments and introductions before calling for discussion. So as approved by the membership in the 2020 annual general meeting, SSA acquired the services of Virtus Group to conduct an audit of our financial operations for the fiscal period January 1 to December 31st, 2020. The Audit and Finance Committee is responsible to monitor the financial processes of the SSA on a monthly and annual basis. Our responsibility is to provide ongoing oversight to ensure membership and stakeholders that we maintain the highest standards of financial accountability. I want to thank our committee, which is made up of directors Jeff Hum, Milton Ramirez, and Andrew Kitchen, who have been on the committee the entire year. Also, Janelle Layton and Kyle Moore joined the committee during the year. And to David Burlock and Godwin Isizer, who stepped down from the committee partway through the year. And I also want to thank our three external experts, Christy Baxter, Jeanette Cook, and Kevin Kobialka for their diligence and guidance. Especially Christy and Jeanette are here today. I want to acknowledge that. And also they are past SSA directors. Christy was chair of Audit and Finance Committee for a few years, and Jeanette Cook is a past president of SSA. Management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements according to the standards established by the board and according with Canadian accounting standards for not-for-profit. As part of our committee's responsibility to the board, we met with Tennille Wild who is with us today, and Sheila Fillion of Vertis Group to discuss our internal processes and the findings of the 2020 audit. So I'd like to introduce Tennille Wild, and ask her to make a few comments.
Hi, good morning. Thank you very much for giving me a moment to attend the meeting. This was our first year as the appointed auditor for the association. And so we were very happy to be involved with your audit this year. The audit went very well. Thank you to Doug, Stephen, the audit committee, and the whole team for all of the work that you've put in through this year. Our report is on page 23 of the working papers, where we've issued our independent auditor's report on your 2020 financial statements. And we issued a clean or clear audit opinion. I just wanted to say thanks again for the great work that you've been doing, and have a great rest of your meeting and education session.
Thank you, Tennille. So I'll carry on. In addition, SSA is required to meet all standards set forward by Sask Lotteries Trust for Sport Culture and Recreation as outlined in the updated guidelines for the preparation of audited financial statements for provincial sport governing bodies. SSA completed the follow-up reports to Sask Sport annually, and we are to a very robust assessment of our entire operations, including financial management practices every 4 years. So I'm pleased to report that SSA achieved a rating of excellent in the financial management sections, which is internal financial controls and accountability and transparency, on our recently completed 4-year review by Sask Sport. So when the board and our audit and finance committee assessed the performance of management, one of the strengths has been financial management, in particular the development of a sustainable budget. This has meant no fee increases since 2014, while managing major declines in registration, and this year with the very significant challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our spring contingency plan budget projected a loss of over $450,000. Fortunately, due to federal and provincial subsidies and the execution of our contingency plan budget, we ended 2020 with an unanticipated surplus of $95,000. Receiving approval for the majority of the government subsidies did not occur until very late in the final quarter of 2020, making financial planning very difficult. We actually redid the budget 3 times during the year. So our strong reserves have allowed for the recent announcements of a major return to play stimulus strategy, which will provide close to $700,000 in direct financial support to SSA members that are active in 2021. And as outlined in the independent auditor's report, we are pleased to report that for the 8th year in a row, we have achieved an unqualified audit opinion, meaning that the financial statements are free from material management and there is no materials findings on reporting, performance objectives, or non-compliance with standards. Now I'd like to open the floor for any questions or discussions. Okay, seeing no raised hands, I'd like to call for those in favor of approving the financial reports. Please raise your hands. I think that's almost everyone. There's still 2 or 3 that haven't. Okay, can I ask you to lower your hands? Are there any opposed to the motion? Please raise your hands now. Okay, I don't see any, so the motion is carried. As part of the Audit and Finance Committee's responsibilities to the board, we make recommendations regarding the firm to manage the audit. So we last went to tender in 2019 and members have supported the selection of Virtus Group. Our first year with them was very positive, and at this time I would request a motion to accept Virtus Group as the auditors for the 2021 fiscal year. Danielle Burke, and seconded by Cam Houle. Can you please lower your hands? And I'll ask for those in favor of the motion to raise their hands. Okay, please lower your hands. And any opposed to the motion? Motion is carried. Thank you. I'll return the floor back to Lisa.
Thank you very much, Leonard. I'll now invite Dave Misko, the Chair of Governance, to go through our bylaw amendments.
Thanks, Lisa. Good day, everyone. As we're moving into the bylaws segment of the AGM this year, I'd like to just clarify and remind everyone that amendments to the bylaws require approval of 2/3 of the voting delegates in attendance today. I'd also like to clarify that this year we only have minor amendments which are being presented to provide clarity and transparency to you, our members, with respect to our AGMs. I'd like to call for a motion to approve the amendments to the bylaws as presented. Ryan Schillenford, Regina, thank you. And seconder, Michael Jakubiak from New Yorkton. Thank you both. You can lower your hands. So I guess before we proceed with the vote, is there any discussion with this motion that we need to have? If you have anything, please raise your hand. Seeing none, so with this, I will ask everyone in favor to please raise your hands. Just give everyone a moment here. Okay. You can lower your hands. Any opposed? Please raise your hand. Seeing none, thank you. That motion is carried. Before I go, I would just like to thank all the members that have worked hard on our committee this past year, starting with Jeff Hum, Kelly Rawlings, Ratan Bahai, Milton Ramirez, Godwin Azizor, and then we had external reps joining us, Paige Vanda Skype, Peter Krebs, and Lisa Bagan-Leary as our ex officio. So thank you everyone for your time and efforts this past year. I'll pass the floor back to Lisa. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Dave. I'll now ask Andrew Kitchen to introduce the slate of candidates so that we can move on to the election of direct officers and directors.
Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm here just to introduce our new slate of candidates and have the motion carried over. So we have some new board of directors this year. The motion is to approve Kelly Rawlings as vice president and Monica Dieters Janelle Layton, Milton Ramirez, and Kyle Moore as directors by acclamation for the next 2-year term. Can I get somebody to move this motion, please? Thank you, Kat. And seconded by Ryan Schillingford. Is there any discussion? Seeing no hands, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? That is the majority. So thank you very much. That motion is carried. And you can lower your hand, and Lisa, the floor is yours.
Thanks very much, Andrew. I want to extend a sincere thank you to my outgoing Vice President, Jeff Hum. It's been a blast, buddy. Really enjoyed our time on the board together. You've been a great VP and appreciate all your hard work and dedication. Also want to thank Leonard Luco, who has been, I don't even know how many years you've been on the board, Leonard. I should know this. I think it's like 15 years. I don't know. But thank you so much for all of your dedication to all of our committees that you've participated on, and recently the Chair of Audit and Finance. Both of your contributions have been tremendous to our organization, and can't express enough gratitude in words. So thank you so much. Also want to thank David Burlock and Godwin Azizor for their service on the board. Unfortunately, both of them had moved out of province, but they were also very grateful for their contributions that they've made to the board and their service. So thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it. So we'll move on to life membership. Over the last 38 years, Hung Dong has not only focused on his career, but he's also spent countless hours assisting fellow referees with their own development. Hung has contributed to the improved quality of officiating by developing competent and capable referees. We wish him well in his retirement and thank him for his many contributions. We would like to recognize Hung Dong as a life member, and I will ask for a motion for a mover for that nomination. Danielle from Saskatoon Adult, seconded by Mike Armstrong. And before I ask for all in favor, please. I think that's everyone actually, so I won't even ask for any opposed. Motion is carried. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Well, that actually concludes the annual general meeting for 2021. So I want to thank everyone and very much for attending today. It's great to see so many members and associate members and guests on our call today. We will start back up at 11:45. Before that happens, I'll ask for a mover to adjourn our meeting today. Chad Stryker, thank you very much. We are adjourned at 11:04. So again, we'll be back at 11:45. So feel free to mute yourself and come back on for the afternoon sessions. Education and interaction sessions. Thank you. Well done. Well done, everybody.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in 25 minutes.